Hello everybody, this is Dutch020 and thank you so much for coming back to my channel from Dutch DRS. And yes guys, we are calling this the comeback.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Alright guys, after 3 weeks of absence, here we go once more. We have returned. And guys, I do have to say there were some troubles with my phone, there was trouble with the Wi-Fi, there was trouble at work. I can name you enough reasons, but sorry guys, nothing is one enough for not just being here. So therefore guys, I will step it up. So we will do a video today and well, of course, a video tomorrow. And besides of that, on the Monday or the Tuesday, well, I do baby believe on Monday for some real opponents because it's boosting Monday. We're gonna have some nice grinding sessions with some nice live commentary and some nice live emotions. Alright guys, Jeddah coming up. I made the mistake during the qualification by starting onto the medium tire while my opponent was ahead of me. So he was at P3, I was at P5, my second driver and his. And I used the medium tire. I tried to undercut him, but that was a big mistake. If you're starting in that P5, don't use the medium tire, especially if your opponent is ahead of you. And if he would use that soft tire, he would fly away from you without any hesitation. So guys, if you're using that medium tire as I'm doing right now, only do it if you're ahead of your opponent, so then you can keep up the pace that will be required to make a hell of a start. Because if you lose the start here at Jeddah, your opponent may fly away. So for a good start, here we go. And it's a real opponent, guys, so let's hope the best, of course, for him. And a very good start here, very nice. We need to fly out with Perez and let's see what Ocon can do. And as we see, our opponent is on the Vice boost, and that will particularly do very well in the first sector of the race. But sector 2 and 3 will be for Ocon, and he can fly off with the Eclipse boost. And here we go. Bam, look at that. What a corner work right over here as well. Vice cannot keep up in sector 2 and 3. Sector 1, again, very dangerous for me. So I need to hold back that minimum pace here. But he's also on the soft tire, so we know he needs to pit. So now we're going to have the choice, or we're going to pit with him, or you need to hold back a lot now because you do need to push for the next lap. Otherwise his out lap will be quicker than you on the soft, and then he will take over my position. And as you can see here, I do need to push a lot of hand here. Perez doing very well now at P1, almost heading into the pit lane right at this moment. So he's safe, P1 is good. And here we go guys, we're going to change up the tactics we're going to use for the soft. His tires are now dying, so we do have a little bit space now in the pit lane. Here we go. We need those few extra seconds because he's pitting before me in pit box number 1. Here we go, woohoo! Very nice moment, but here we go. We are quicker than our opponent. And now as you can see, the bot opponent now with his medium tire behind us. So let's hope his Vice boost will be a little bit held up by his own driver. But as we can see here, the soft opponent is already now crossing very quickly, and there he goes. And of course, now we can see doing well. It's becoming attention, guys, I do have to say. But now, as you can see, we're maintaining a very good pace. And now we are strolling away at this moment of time. Doing very well. Okay, let's see. I think now we can probably say, guys, we are here. So again, guys, if you do have those alternative tactics and you do want to use that medium tire, I do have to say, only use the medium tire if you're outside the top 5, even top 10, because then you can maybe hold on to push you a little bit over your opponent with the downforce boost or the Eclipse boost or even the towers boost. But if you're in the top 5, do the soft, because as you can see, my pace is now so good, it's almost impossible for him to keep up. And as well as because I see now Vice boost, and my second driver is on the Eclipse. So therefore, again, I have a lot more fuel to spend than my opponent. Interesting moment now, guys. And as we can see, we have a very good start of today. First, of course, first race a real opponent right away. Gives us great content for YouTube. If the commentary is a little bit slacky today, guys, I do have to say I'm sorry. Of course, a little bit rusty after 2 or 3 weeks, and we're gonna get back into that rhythm. And like I said, normally weekly videos are coming back, and also on Wednesdays, I think I will do like a grinding session, or on Tuesday, I'll just do a live stream, and you can see unedited what I do. I will provide commentary, of course, as usual, and unedited footage. So, as usually I already said, my Grand Prix videos, I do the commentary afterwards. I'm not doing it during the video anymore, and therefore, again, during the grinding session on the Tuesdays from now on, I will do live commentary with live emotions with it. Alright guys, we're gonna wrap this race up. Final pit stop now on the move. As we can see, Perez now doing very well again. Ocon also now driving smoothly into the last of this pit lane, and my opponent at P3 does not have the fuel anymore to keep up. I am damn pretty sure about that fact. Here we go, another good pit stop. Remained P1 and P2. And now it's just a trick, guys, just to stay P1 and P2 at this moment of time. I do have to say, I'm watching live Formula 1 at the moment of time, the qualifying. And let's see with Verstappen, still not doing anything. We're in a second quali. I won't say anything too much because some of you guys are maybe going to watch it later on or whatever kind of reason, so I won't spoil any qualification results for the moment of time. And as we see here with Ocon doing wonderful, a lot of space now created between us and P3. There is no tension anymore. And that means the first race wrapped up, guys. 47 points, hell of a start, doing well. And again, of course, I'm in the hell group again, like every other week. A lot of Black Sails guys, some Blue Jacks guys, a lot of great guys, Hunters Elite as well. So yeah, you need to perform on your highest. And I had a very bad Wednesday, slept Thursday. So let's say on the second race, I just fell asleep. So that was the 3-pointer. So I had to do my races on the final day yesterday on a Friday. And yeah, that was terrible. Also made a huge mistake over there, and that was during work. So again, I need to create some more time, and otherwise do my races after work late when I get home. But for now, guys, as you can see, a very well start. 47 points right into the pocket. Okay. Hope our opponent will get some better matchups for his future races now. Too bad, of course, meeting me at this moment of the stage. His grip positions, of course, are fine, but during the race you want to keep up with your opponent, you want to take him over, of course, and that's difficult if my race score is that high.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Alright guys, race number 2 coming up, Mexico City. It's a lovely one. I do love this track. Very a lot of different boosts available here. I like the Kauai, I like the Jin, but of course the Eclipse, the Dead Fast will also do you good on the straight work. But nonetheless, on the straight work, the corner work here in Mexico, that's real tight, especially sector 1 and 3. And on that matter of fact, the Kauai and the Jin will do you good. And as you can hear me say, guys, the Jin and the Kauai, but man, I'm a greedy guy. I only have 400 or 500 Kauai left. So instead of the Kauai, my smart brain went to the decision to go on the downforce boost. And well, guys, as you can already hear on my voice, the disappointment in that decision will arise. Because again, guys, if you have the Kauai, doesn't matter how much you want. If you want to go for that P1, you will need it. You will need to go for it. So here, guys, my opponent now standing behind me. But here we go. He has a very good rocket start. And my Ocon, as you can see, I was troubling with the rocket start. And he's making space. This was unbelievable. He had the inside corner, but he went out. I really don't know what he did over there. And here we go, guys. We have a real race now on our hands because the Kauai is so good in the corner work. Downforce as well, but the downforce is just not equipped enough to take over in those first few straights. And again, especially in the straight, the Dead Fast will fly away from me. So it's a difficult situation here now what to do. What will I do with Ocon? I'm going to do, of course, a one-stopper, but I'm going to do it after 4 lap softs, or I'm going to hold back and do it after a 5 lap softs, because I can, of course, use it to hold back my opponent. But if I do so, there's a big possibility I will dropping more points. So again, guys, the decision to make is to go for a one-stopper after 4 laps and then go to 4 laps of medium so you can full-on push and you won't have to worry about losing your tires. And boom, here we go. That straight is doing good with the dead fast. But here we go. As you can see, the Jin is now doing his perfect work, crossing into the inside and taking over P1. Beautiful job, Perez. Beautifully done. And as we can see here now, because of the struggle for P1 with both of the drivers, Ocon is now slipping his way into through P3 now very solidly. And his race pace is doing fine. Here we go. Ocon is doing a wonderful job keeping up now with the pace of the first two drivers. And here we go. That was a very sneaky move again. But here we go. We can hold him off again. We're saving our fuel. We're saving our energy with Perez for later on during the race. And here we go. This is the moment, guys. What am I doing with Ocon? Am I going for the pit lane and stay on to P3? Or to go on for another lap, hope something weird situations happen with the P2 and take that P2 over? And as you can see, guys, the choice has been made. Ocon is going to go for one more lap. What we're going to do now with Perez, he's now going out on the medium tire. So we're going to go very slow and pray by hoping that we're going slow enough to hold up the field and that Ocon can make a quick pit stop. And while I was saying and thinking this during making my race, as you can see, the left behinders, the past cars, the numbers 24, 23 are now in vision. So that means Ocon has trouble taking over those cars because those cars are still driving and racing with one another. And I think all you guys know in the F1 Clash, if you are seeing the guys from the back of the field, you know you're going to get hold up. And there we go, guys. Ocon is now not just losing P3. Not just P3 indeed, because now we are P4. Troublesome, guys. We need to push now with Ocon. We're going to hold back with Perez. So let's see if Ocon can make his way back up to the field. But as you can see, those left behind cars are now becoming a very big problem. But also for my opponent, as you can see here at P3, he is having some trouble as well. So let's hope we can take our advantage. Very squeezed outside there. And on the straight, it's becoming a problem because that Eclipse is, of course, much faster than we are, especially on that straight. And here we go. Ocon must do it now in one of the corners. Let's go, friend. Very squeezed and tight here. And with Perez to hold up the P2, I gave that up at this point because as we can see, it's already becoming a very big problem for Ocon to become a P3. But now, as you see, we need to push on with Perez. I don't want to make the mistake by losing P1 with Perez on this straight. Ooh, that was a very tight one. Man, that was a little bit of troublesome there, guys. We don't want to keep up. We don't want to hold back there too much. We do need to fly away. That was really tense over there, guys. And I do have to say, the last thing that we want is losing points over here. But also, we need to fly with Perez because the dumbest thing would be is losing P1 with Perez. So, thank God there after that straight, they did not go any bad way. A very well raced, man, and a nice one indeed. I did pronounce names. Of course, this is the second real race already. Here we go, and it's a nice one, guys. It was a nice race. It was a nice race. We do have to give the compliments. He had a very nice start. I had a very rocky start, and I was not able to recover. So therefore, guys, the Jin boost is the one to go. Don't use downforce unless it's the normal series. For the Grand Prix, you go.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Here we go again once more, guys. Here we go. So again, it was a beautiful race, but by my own mistake and a little bit of a faulty first corner by Ocon. And as you can see, then it's becoming troublesome and more trouble to retrieve those points. And therefore, it was now a little bit troublesome, guys, because now we are missing the 2 points already, so that P1 is out of our sights. But nonetheless, this will make up for some nice content. And now, of course, we're gonna hope for some much more real opponents. But real yes or no, this opponent is a very lower team score. We're going now to my home country, the Netherlands. I myself are from Amsterdam. That is also why the 020 is in my name, guys. My name is Dutch 020 because that simply says Dutch Amsterdam, because 020 is our net area code. And our opponent, real yes or no, at P8 and P10, that must not be any difficulties for me, and I must fly away with my guys. And I will use the downforce, of course, to fly with Perez, and Ocon will use the towers boost. And with the towers boost, you can do any kind of strategy that you like. You can hold back your opponents a little bit, because you're also still on the soft, so it's difficult to take over by your other opponents. But as well, with the corner work, it's doing solid. You can push any way you like. So my first initial strategy will be for Perez to do 3 laps on the soft and then 4 laps on the soft. And with Ocon, we're going to do it a little bit reversed. We're going to do 4 laps on soft and we're going to finish strong with 3 laps on the soft tires. And as already assumed, our opponent is a 2 sets of different compound and as well no boosts. And those 2 added up in a Grand Prix race, that is not a real opponent. So therefore, guys, the 47 points is now something that we must achieve. This is becoming imperative because we already are missing 2 points at this moment of time. And that is, of course, troublesome enough for us. Alright, doing wonderful here. P2, Ocon is doing marvelously. At P3, we have Perez. He is on the medium tire. And his teammate Verstappen at P4 also seems to have the medium tire, because at P5 on the soft tire is having troublesome to take over. But as well as we can see, I don't have any much problems holding back my opponents. So there's a lot of tire management that I can do here with Ocon. And as you can see with Perez, he is flying. I almost set up there the medium pit stop, which is not needed, of course, because if with the downforce boost, you can push any way you like. And as you can see here, guys, even with Ocon, there is room left to push, because for the final 2 laps before the pit stop, you do need those 50%, let's say 25% per lap. And with Ocon on the towers, he's doing a lot better than that. So for the final round before the pit stop, we can do an easy full round push for Ocon. And then therefore, guys, the 47 points must be into the pocket. The only thing now is, of course, hoping that at this moment of time we won't get a safety car. Or, of course, maybe now it is okay because we have plenty of space with the cars behind us. Normally, I get a little bit nervous if I have a low tire percentage and the pit stops are coming, because the field, of course, will grow into each other. And if you then have to go into the pit lane, you are done. So for all you guys still out there, please hit the subscribe and the like button if you do like it. If you don't like it, please let me know why, because I am not looking for a fight. I am only looking for myself to improve, and I want to get better by the day. So if there's something or you know something you don't like or don't appreciate, please let me know. Drop it in the comments and I'll of course get back to you guys. And now, of course, with Ocon, as I said, we're going to do a 4-lap strategy. But as well, we had a lot of tire work, but that is a lie. Guys, the second mistake of today, I forgot to do my pit stop. But herefore, we're lucky because that towers boost is doing marvelously. So as you can see, he's doing wonderfully here. And we're going to make it through the pit without any problems or any hesitation. Because at P3, Perez, he is not close enough to take us over. And even if he would get P2 after this, I have 2 last laps remaining to go with the towers and full on fuel to take over P2. But as I can see here, I do believe we have enough space. It will be a tight one. Oh, maybe even not. Oh, wait. It's going to be a little tensy one. No, still P2. There we go, guys. Good job by Ocon. Good with his tire management. Very proud of him. Nicely raced, guys. All right. Doing well. Let's see, of course, what the rest of the race and, of course, what the last of Sunday would bring for us. The downforce boost was doing nicely here. So maybe not the best one for Mexico, but if you're P1 and you want to fly away, the downforce boost is doing you well on Zandvoort. So I'm very happy that I did use it once more, once again. So the most important thing is by Dutch DRS is, of course, to make a name for ourselves. I think that's very important. I just noticed as well, guys, that during my recording that sometimes my headphones are giving some trouble. So if sometimes my voice gets down, I can assure you, not a big information that you're missing, because only the first race was against a real opponent. Now we're just talking our asses off together. Sorry, I've got for my language over there. And here we go, guys. Another 47 points into the pocket. Doing well, doing well. All right. Still enough chance to get a good result today, and especially to go with a good result to the Sunday. To miss 2 points again, the P1 is out of sight, but nonetheless we still have a lot of room to make us for a good result for tomorrow. All right, guys, Zandvoort is up, and new race will be now coming our way. Let's see what our opponent or real opponent will be. Okay, again, like we said, taking an awful long
And
time.
it's lights out and away we
I do
go!
like those quick matchups because then you already practically know that's a real opponent. So then you can also put your mindset to that, of course. And here we go. That's a nice team score here. That's a nice opponent. Let's hope it's a real one. Because again, I would like to show some great content during my comeback video. And until now, we only had one real opponent. So let's see if this can make us a very nice race. Paul Richard Le France. I do love this track. A lot of great strategies are here possible, and that's also what I tell my teammates. There are so many possibilities you can do here on the soft, the medium, even the hard tire. I had some nice convincing wins. I do say that the soft and the medium tire, of course, the tires to go with. I like the dead fast here, I like the downforce, the eclipse, of course. Jin is also doing very well, especially in sector 3 and 1. But on that first straight, on the second straight, after the small hiccup, I do believe that the downforce is doing a little bit better, especially with the grip handle as well. I do believe as well that, maybe it's just a 50-50. But quarter work or the fast track, I'm really not sure about it yet. And I'm playing this game for a long time. But sometimes I have better success with the dead fast, sometimes I have better success with the Jin, or of course the downforce boost as I'm using right now. As we see, our opponent on the medium and on the hard tire, which gives us away that it's a butt opponent because he's using two different compounds. And in a Grand Prix race without boosts, I can highly assure this is not a real opponent. So the key for us right here now is to fly away with Perez so we don't have any trouble with our first driver. And Ocon is just going to hold back the field a little bit because most of the drivers behind us are on the soft, the hard, and of course a few of them also on the medium tire. So the point is just to hold back our tires for over a little bit extra so we can push on, because you're using, normally if you're using the medium for one stopper with 4 laps, you need 25% per lap, of course, but with the downforce boost you have that tire multiplier. So if you're holding back a little bit for the first few laps, then before your pit stop, the last final lap, you can push on, which of course we're going to do in a moment of time. He's holding beautifully back here, good defending by Ocon. Of course the corner work is doing so well on the downforce, so if you're just defending at the right points at the track, you can hold back your opponent. If he's of course not on the most accurate boost, because if your opponent is on a Kwai or the Jin, don't just defend, also fly away, because otherwise he can surprise you at any time in any corner. And here we go with Ocon, guys. A lot of space left to push. And which are we going to do in a moment of time? We're going to full up, open up the throttle. Then nobody can put an undercut under me. And no driver behind me is close enough to as well undercut me in the pit lane. Because of course I haven't seen yet where my opponent's box is number 1 or 2. Normally if you're driving a butt, his pit box is before yours. So again, we do need a little bit of that extra space. We're gonna do another time on the medium tire, because if you're not pushing it, just keeping on a normal rate, I think you could do 4 normal laps on that downforce boost. And my opponents behind me are not pushing that well, and if they will go on a different compound, I will know how to defend. So here we go with our first and final pit stop with Ocon. And here we go, indeed, pit box number 1. So you do need that space before your opponent gets in. And there we go, a very nice, easy pit stop, guys. We don't need to push after the pit box, because as you can see, we have a lot of space between us. So now again, I can hold back with the downforce until my opponents get to my rear end. And then I can fly away without ease. There we go. Alright guys, no more mistakes please. And here we go, another 47 points are now on the way. I do love seeing that downforce boost, because if you don't use a boost at France, you do see your car in sector 3 going left and right, having some big struggles going through the corners. But again, if you're using that downforce or that the Kwai boost or even the out boost, you are doing nicely. Well guys, I do have to say there are a lot of discussions going on in my team at Discord, you can name it, about the out boost of being one of the best boosts out there. I highly disagree. Yes, it gives you a very nice pit stop. Yes, it's nice in the corner work, but I do say this. During this week, I had a lot of grinding sessions to get on some sweet points for my team, and a lot of people were driving that outboost. And every time when I used the gin boost, they could not keep up because the corner work is practically the same, but with the gin boost, you have a lot more track grip and as well with the blocking. So when my opponent's behind me, I can block, save up my tires, and then with some nice sweet grip for the last, for before the pit stop, the last lap, I can push on, and then I've created enough space that the outboost is not undercutting me into the pit lane. So yes, the outboost is nice, guys, but not for every track. I would highly recommend to only use it at Japan. Japan is very good with the outboost, but I don't see any other kind of tracks that's like, yes, out's the way. I do believe, again, Jin and Kawhi, my two favorite boosts in corner work, are still outperforming him. Alright guys, again, we are doing solid. We can push now a little bit with Ocon. We have a lot of tire left. And here we see that our opponent has now a breakdown, so we don't need to push anymore. And the 47 points are now in the pocket, guys. Here we go. I'm getting a little bit pumped up over here because, again, I do want to get those nice scores. I'm the president now of my club, so I don't want to fall behind of the top guys in my group, especially our number one Max. He is killing it. He is grinding his ass off within the normal series races, but also in the Grand Prix, he's doing very well. He's in maximum points on the Wednesday and also today. Too bad his lap time was only 20:031, so we do hope that Max tomorrow will go under the 20, so he can get that P1 finally, which is well deserved. Alright guys, here we go, friends. 47 points into the pocket. Here we go. Very happy and motivated. So first, 4 good races. Small mistake again with the downforce on Mexico, but we live and learn. There we go, guys. 4 races done. There we go, guys. The final 4 races are now coming up. Austria, of course, for the fast lap, still making his approach later on. I do believe that's race number 7. Race number 8, of course, Jeddah.
And it's lights out
Let's see
and
what
away
the
we
next track
go!
will give us. Small surprise for me, there was not big preparation on my hand. I did, of course, make sheets for my team members to which boost, what to use, but I made one sheet for all the tracks. So I have no clue which the next race will be because I did not look at the calendar. And ooh, Miami, very nicely. Do like Miami, very different track. You can do also so many strategies here, and I do believe now that Miami is now becoming one of my favorite tracks within the F1 Clash game, because you can do, again, with the soft, with the medium, you can go any way you like. P1 and P3, so that means we're gonna have to fly, guys, because our opponent is very close behind us, as we saw. Alright, so again, flying is the option, so the dead fast boost, of course, on Perez. And we're gonna use Eclipse or the Street Shark. I was doubting at this moment, but the Street Shark it is, and we're gonna use the medium tire. We're gonna try to push on, but also to keep up a normal pace, so we can do 3 laps on the medium, and then we'll see where our opponent stands at that point. But here we go, again, a butt opponent for us, guys. So all the tension for me has now gone away. Very good start there by the Street Shark with Ocon. He's now holding back Perez, but there you go, Perez now going very smoothly. Maybe that was not smart by me to do that into the first quarter, because as you can see, Ocon really dropped it over there. And what's happening here, guys? Wow, I'm getting, wow, 3 cars. Wow, alright, 2 in the end. But wow, what happened over there? Thank God this is not a real opponent, because now we've been a little bit in the drop to the behind. But here we go, that Street Shark doing very nice with his speed multiplier. So 1 place already back now. But hey, Ocon was having a very good start, and because of my hand, he was holding back. So this is again a little bit of my own fault. But nonetheless, no worry, because again, this is not a real opponent. So with the Street Shark boost and with a nice tire grip management, we are able to get again our 47 points. Some corner work here. Let's take it easy a little bit with Ocon and push on to the end of the corner here, so then we can take over P2 at the end of the straight, because again, the multiplier on the speed is doing well, and there we go. P3 again. But P2 here is also now going to the pit, and as we see, Perez has a lot of tire left, so we can push on with Perez by ease, and Ocon has also some nice tires left, so we can push on and avoid the undercut by our opponent. Alright guys, so tomorrow I do have to work from 6 o'clock in the morning, that's 5 o'clock UK time in the morning, until like 3, so after 3 I will do my races and post my video as soon as I can for all you guys. But the Saturday video is, in my belief, the most important one, because you do see already the tracks you're going to do for Sunday. You're going to see a little bit how the tension is feeling, you can see what kind of boosts we are using. And of course, drop a comment to open a discussion if you like. You can also, of course, contact me on Discord. And if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. The more people reach me, the more people might actually learn a little bit as well. And not just of by quote unquote how good I am. No, I mean by the small mistakes I made. Because guys, I am an investor. As you see, I have a lot of bucks. I have a lot of boosts. But the one thing you do need is that 100% motivation, concentration, and effectiveness. And sometimes that gets the better of me, but that does give a little bit of nice content. So here we go, guys. Our drivers are now doing very well. We are pushing hard. We went to the soft tire, so 3 medium, 2 on the soft, and well, I was still doubting here a little bit what we're going to do for the final laps, but I do believe that the medium is now doing very well. As we can see, half a strength length back onto P3, so there's enough space, and he's on the soft tire. He still also needs to go into the pit lane. I do believe we have plus minus 15 seconds ahead of our opponent at this moment, so the stress is gone, pit stops are made, no more mistakes, and another 47 pockets is on the way, guys. Again, for the sake of the video, we are still hoping for that one real opponent, because one will not just do. We need at least 2 till 4. That's also a little bit more odds for the matchmaking, right guys? Because I know a lot of guys who are also, of course, not in Dutch CRS, and I already know 2 or 3 guys who had 6 real opponents today. And here we go, and race number 6 I only had 1. So this is not really fair. And one of the things I really hope Hutch will fix is the matchmaking part for the guys with the lower team scores. Because of course, guys, I have a maximum team score, also pretty quick already in the season, so I don't have the matchmaking problems that all you guys have. But I do feel for it, because sometimes I get matched up by guys with 100 or 150 TS less than me. And then, man, I feel really bad, because that's not a race, not for me, not for him. For me, it's of course easy points into the pocket, but for him, it's already in his mind before the race starts. Your maximum reach will be 43 points. And man, where's the motivation in that part? Because guys, I've been a true racer when I was a young kid. I have Dutch belts, I even had European championships, and I can tell you, if I was second and my mom congratulated me, I always said with an iron face, Mom, there's only P1, P2 and P3 are comfort little prizes, and I do mean it. So again, if one of your guys have a lower TS and you're only meeting high opponents, I feel bad for you guys. I hope the situation will get a lot better for you. And alright, back to the race, guys, because as we can see, a very nice outloop. We are taking it very slow, because I do want to see of how tires and everything will hold up. If the race is normally done, I will always do a little bit of testing, a little bit seeing and touching and feeling of what you can do with a tire. Because of course, Miami, I have only driven it like now 20 times yet, and I do believe you need at least 30 to 40 times under your belt until you're completely sure on where the quick points are, what your good boosts are, and how you want to keep on your tire management during those pit stops as well. And as we hoped and assumed, guys, 47 points into the pocket, and our bot opponent is also now concluding his race, which means we don't have to wait too long to head towards the next race. Lovely beginning, guys. Here we go. "47 points into the pocket again." All right. I already saw a lot of my opponents having a flawless Saturday, so again, the hope was already gone, but now is for sure. P1, P2, and P3 are out of reach. We are now going for a nice P10, or something in that range for tomorrow. Nonetheless, we are doing solid. the next race now coming up, guys. We are doing flawlessly good on my behalf. Again, one mistake made. Keep my heads up and let's see what the next race will do for us. Race number 6 now coming up.
And it's lights out and away we go!
Well, tick-tock, guys, here we go again. A long time, it's taking a long time to think again. So let's see what it will do for us. If it's a bot, please give us a good one. Wow, that's a very low one again. So let's talk boost, let's talk strategies during this race. Because guys, if I don't make any mistakes, the 47 points must be an easy one for this one as well. And there we go, Monza. Oh, rainy circumstances. That's nice. We have a lot of dry races the past few weeks. Also on Discord, many discussions about many players. Because again, in dry circumstances, it's very, very easy to speculate where people will end up. And under dry, rainy circumstances, just like this Monza, as you can see, it will be drying up after a few minutes probably. So that will give us a nice race. We're gonna use the Reindeer or the Dragon. It's a 2 boost I rarely use, actually, sometimes only just in the series races. But my opponent is, well, not very big of a threat over here, and I do believe that the Dragon boost is as well a very good boost, especially holding up with that tire management. And if you're holding back a little bit, you can push on. And my voice is dropping because we have to do it again. Here we go. Oh, nothing happened. What a shocker, guys. I had the same one yesterday. The Wi-Fi at my home is giving me some troubles. There's a lot of maintenance going on in this area. So like I said, it was also really troublesome for me the past few weeks to make some good content. And here we go. We had to change back to the 5Gs. And man, that's a big risk because that 3-pointer qualification is really something that's up there if you do something like that. Oh, whew, we are still into the race. Of course, the curse boost at number 1 is doing flawlessly. And Ocon, I was gonna say, he's gonna little trouble there in the corner, but he's still maintaining for P2. That Dragon boost is doing very nicely. Of course, a little bit extra rain modifier, but the extra fuel and the extra tires is something you want to look out for. Let's keep our distance over here so we won't get surprised into the corner by Perez. And here you go, guys, a lot of extra percentage left over. Even if you're holding back the entirety of the first 5 laps, you can do easily 5 laps on the wets, and then again 3 laps, of course, on the wets. But that's something we're not going to do for this race. I don't want to make any chances or any undercut chances or whatsoever. We're just holding back to create some space between us and Perez. But then with Ocon, as soon as we can, we're gonna fly. And our bot opponent, well, he's driving midfield, no really worth mentioning at this moment. So again, let's hope that for Austria and for the final race in Jeddah, we are gonna have a real opponent. Because man, I do want to race and I do want to provide that content. So also again, to come back at that Tuesday grinding live event I'm about to do, maybe I'll even do it on the Monday, because Monday, of course, as the usual, guys, if you know, Monday is boost day, so then you will read some real opponents. So maybe instead of Tuesday, on the Monday I will do the live session, but I will let you guys know by a post on my channel and also on the Discord ways. So I will let you know. But again, I think I changed my mind. I think I will do it on the Monday, because again, the boosting Monday gives some nice sweet races and everybody wants to make up some points that they have lost during the weekend probably. Here we go, guys, a beautiful outlet by both of our guys, and as you see with Perez, flew off perfectly, and now we're going to hold back for the last duration of the race because it's in the pocket. And the 47 points for race 6 are now becoming a fact. I do have to say about the safety car, no safety car yet during this race. I'm tapping it off right here, right now. The thing about the safety car, last season it was very random, of course, what happened, and now of course your car can break down. But I haven't seen anyone yet crashing of my opponent, only the bots until now. Not even a bot PvP opponent, I mean the regular normal bots that are driving into the game. If one of you guys are watching this right now and you did have a crash or your opponent had a crash during a safety car, please let me know. I'm very curious if that's happened to someone. Because again, I play this game for multiple hours every day and I haven't seen one safety car yet where I crashed or my opponent. Only the bot normal drivers did. So in one way I am hoping for some nice comments, in one way if I don't hear anything, that is a good sign, because you know that safety car, of course it can happen, it gives us some unwelcome situations sometimes, but I do have to say, if I crash or my real opponent crashes during a Grand Prix, that is so unfair, because it is out of your reach. There's nothing you can have prevented of becoming crashed, and of course your opponents are driving all the way in the normal Grand Prix, so that's highly unfair. So that's a very good modification that they did with last year. Of course, me and a lot of guys are complaining a lot about Hutch servers and this and a flag situation, you name it. But I do have to give some credit where credit is due, guys. They did pick up a lot of few bugs, minor situations that they fixed correctly. So I'm very glad about that part. Ocon is now pushing into for his last corner of the race. And here we go, guys. Another 47 points are in the pocket. And we had a good Monza behind us. I did believe that maybe we had the possibility of ending on the softs. But here we go. It was a full wet race. Nice surprise. Very glad about that. And here we go with our opponent. Very slow but steady. He did it. And he crossed as well the finish line. All right, guys. 6 races now behind us. 2 points in the minus section, but again, not a big problem as long as we're doing flawlessly tomorrow for you guys. Alright guys, race number 7 with a fast lap. We're gonna keep on the push head, even though I'm already missing points. The first tip to you guys, don't put on the fast lap. It doesn't matter, you're already missing points. This is something I do myself. I already have the P1, I already have I just want to put on a fast lap time. If I had the full on points until now, of course I would have done it, because you do need the fast lap time. Normally if I drop a point, I don't do the fast lap time anymore, because I want to get as high as the rankings as possible. But also for my teammates, I just want to put on a fast lap. I do see a lot of 20.031s coming by, a few 1998s, and 1 or 2 guys have reached the 19.965 mark at Austria. Very impressive, very impressive. Alright, Perez P2, Ocon P3, and our bot opponents really is Bum P11 and P12. So I do have to say, yes, I want to make content, yes, I like real opponents, but if there is one race where I want an opponent with a 100 the T-score less than I, and which has to be a butt, it's of course Austria. And I think everybody would agree with me on that part. We love to race, we want to grind of course against real opponents, achieve the best scores. But if there's one race we can choose, we want to use a bot and also a bad bot, yes, it's Austria. Because we need our space to do our quick lap. Oh, Con here at P3, so we're going to push with him a little bit harder to attain P2. We'll do a little bit later on to the race. For Perez, it's imperative that we're going to pick up a little bit speed for that fast lap time. So let's see what Perez will do. In the first sector, you will need the 7.953 mark to reach that high fast lap time. So let's see what Perez will do. And, oh, that's a very bad first sector. I don't even believe there will be a 20.064 even. So, well, let's hope that Perez will do something nice in sector 2 and sector 3. And well, normally I would go onto the hards after this, so after 4 laps onto the hard tire, but you know, let's hope for some safety cars, some weird situations, and put Perez on another soft tire. With Ocon, we're holding back the field very nicely, so we do have the space now to do something with Perez. So here you go, Perez. Normally we'd go another lap, or we're going to put on the softs on his, but right now, and let's hope we're going to have some space to do another quick lap, because I'm not convinced about that first lap. And as you can see, we have so much space so we can do something like this. If this was a real opponent, or even a bot opponent, but it was way more behind me than it was right now, I wouldn't have done this. I'm only doing this right now because there's plenty space to do so. I don't like to take chances on that Saturday, man. I really don't. So Perez, as we can see right now, making a nice inner loop until this lap. But as we can see, our the back of the field is already here. So nonetheless, doesn't matter what the first sector will do. which was not even a great one, as we can see. Nonetheless, guys, doesn't matter. We tried, we didn't matter. If this was a normal week, I would have been bummed out because I'm pretty sure this is not a fast lap time. For 100%, I am not under the 20-second mark right now. So if this was a week where I had full scores and full potential for that P1, I would have lost it by the fast lap. And of course, maybe Perez did something weird, and we have a very nice 2 and 3rd sector. But again, that first sector is imperative with your speed, and we already lost 3/10 at that first sector for that fast lap time. So I don't believe, again, we have it. For all you guys who are driving here, the firework boost is of course the boost to use for your fast lap time. I did learn some nice crucial information today with one of my teammates and also a very nice YouTube contenter, and that is to use Vice. If you're not max level, so if your Lefathian or some other part of your car is not maxed out yet, and you're not maxed out again, use the Vice boost, because the Vice boost will give you that nice extra edgy part. I will come back on that later part. So if one of you guys has trouble making the fast lap at Austria and you're not max level yet, please contact or DM me, and I can take a look at your setup situation and see what I can do for you, of course. Ocon now, there was a little bit trouble during this race. As you can see, a little bit pushing and now holding back, but Ocon is not doing wonderfully. And again, guys, the 47 points are almost in the pocket if we're not going to do anything stupid with Ocon here. Because, that was a squeaky, there we go. Because Perez at P3 is still on the medium tire. So dead fast, yes or no, the medium tire is doing very well, of course, in the corners. So be mindful of where your position is. But as we see here, the Ocon, even on the hard tire, is doing wonderful. And Perez made it to the first, and there we go with Ocon. He is now going to our P2, and here we go, guys. I'm very excited, only 2 points in the minus, a good day still, and the final race of Jeddah now coming up. As I said, guys, I'm really hoping of a 2 real opponents minimum, and at least 4 actually, to make one hell of a video, of course, because man, the real guys give you, of course, the races to go with your best strategies, your best boost, your best behavior, you name it. So of course, if the learning aspect for some of you might still want to see these videos, let's hope for a final good one. Ooh, and there we go. Well, even though there was even in my mind, this was even going to be slower than this one. So still that at 20.064 is still, in my words, still a little bit impressive, because that was a very, very slow first sector. Alright guys, 7 races are done. And here we go, as we heard, race number 8. And yes, a real opponent, because as you can see, we are matched up right away with our opponent. And nonetheless, we have a 50 team score more. With that Perez and Ocon being 20%, that is almost not even a difference whatsoever. My belief is that I will be starting P1 and P4, P1 and P3. He will do 2 and 5, or 3 and 6 maybe. 4 and 5 it is for him, and 1 and 3 for me. He still has all the possibility to make a great lap out of this, guys, and a great run, I mean, of course. So no chances, guys, no medium, no crapping around. We are gonna fly and fly and fly, and there we go. We're going with Eclipse, the dead fast, and both of the men are going onto the soft tire. A real opponent, let's wish the man a best of luck. And there we go. And he's giving a smiley. Alright guys, 2 points. First of all, 1. He's giving a sarcastic smile to me. And whatever you want, guy, I really don't care. I mean, alright, he's from the German team. Maybe we're not interaligned that well with the Dutch. But guys, if you're doing the rocket start or making a start with your concentration, don't put up any smileys or whatever. Focus your hands onto the button and make sure you make that rocket flying start. Because here we go, because of that smile, he did not have the rocket start, and now already I am seeing a huge gap. The race pace of Ocon is tremendously, and Ocon is now flying away at P1, and therefore with Perez, we're gonna hold back the other guys because he's defending as well a little bit better than Ocon. So if one of my opponents is getting a little bit too close to me, Perez will be able to hold them off. But here we go, that soft tire is sector 2 and 3. Man, that's doing tremendously good. Look at Ocon flying there. And as well with Perez. Really nice, guys. And here we go. Already half a track length, almost to my opponent. This will be a very easy pit stop, as I assume. And I don't believe that my opponent will undercut me howsoever. And there we go. Ocon already out of the pits. And there we go with Perez. Now we made both of our guys made the pit stop. And both of his drivers will pit next round. Do have to say, guys, he's making a mistake. The one mistake that I made during the qualification rounds on Wednesday. I went out on 2 times the medium. I met a real opponent. He had the soft tire with the modifier, of course, and the multipliers, and you name it, the Eclipse. And he skyrocketed me, and I had to cancel the race, of course, to retry on the Thursday attempt. But man, oh man, did I learn from that mistake. And therefore, guys, only use the medium tire if you're in front of your opponent. Never if you're back of your opponent, because if he's starting in that soft tire with the Eclipse or the Dead Fast or the Firework, you name it, he will fly off. And as you can see here, guys, the proof is here. Even though this is just a 50 team score difference, that is not that much. With the right setup, the right tire compound, he would have been able at least to sneak away 1 point from my guys. And here we go, guys. The second pit stop are now coming in, and we even have more space than we already did before. And our opponent is not adjusting. As you can see at the first Jeddah race, I was missing a lot of the speed, and I could not keep up with my opponent. So what did I do after the 3 rounds of the medium? I changed to the soft tire, and I flew off. And as you can see here, our opponent needed to adjust. Both of his drivers went in the pits after the 3 laps. He needed to change. At least one of them needed to go for the softs for at least 2 laps and do something different, because now you need to keep the pace management between both of your drivers. You cannot push too hard with your second driver, otherwise they will be stacking up to the pit lane, and then you're worrying and thinking and overthinking. And as you can see at that moment, my guys are now flying off into the sunset, and the final pit stop is already almost on the way. And our bad opponent here is again, he should have done something differently. He cannot push for the final lap. He needs to hold back a little bit, otherwise he won't make it through the pit. And guys, what am I doing with Perez over here? That notification saved me, because here I go, guys. I am an honest dude, and I can say I was really spacing out at this moment of time. And when I got the pop-up in the screen from Perez, I was like, yes, please go into the pit, sir. Man, I can honestly say, guys, if the pop-up wasn't there, I would have blown it for 100%. And here we go, guys. Perez at P2, still a lot of fuel left, and P1 Ocon, maybe not that fuel, but so much race pace we had during this race. So as you can see, the amount of difference now between us and P3 and P4 is humongously. It's about 14 seconds straight. Nonetheless, we're going to use up all the fuel that we have. And there we go, guys, a perfect example. Don't use the standard tactics only that you think that are good, because 3 medium, 2 soft, that's a strategy you will use if you're P1 and P2 and your bot opponent is outside the top 5. If you're driving a real opponent, and especially if it's P1 and P3, use the softs, use the Eclipse, use Firework, use Dead Fast, use something with speed. Because only at the end of Sector 2, the end of Sector 1, beginning Sector 2, there are some corner works here, and then the Vice will maybe do you well, but on the other hand, the other ones will do you a lot better. And here we go, another sarcastic smile from Erwin, and man, I'm giving you another good luck, bro, because again, I am trying to be respectable over here, and it's not my problem that you're making your own mistakes, because guys, I can surely say, you know how I am. If I make mistakes, I am the first one to acknowledge them. And there we go, guys. I do hope that Erwin will have a better day tomorrow, and I'm sorry for sneaking away those points, but again, Erwin, if you're watching this, use the soft tire, my friend. Guys, thank you so much for coming back. The party mode is in, and as you can hear, we can relax and enjoy our day. And of course, guys, as I said, I will see you all tomorrow. I had a very wonderful day. I am very glad to be back. For any of you guys who have a bad or even a good comment, please post it. I will react to anything that I can, and I really do like having back to socialize with you guys. So again, if there's something you need, please contact me on Discord. My name is on the description of YouTube. You can find me. And of course, for all the Dutchmen out there, find Dutch DRS because we are flying. For all you guys still left to race, stay in the race and keep up the pace.